Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, I have my co-host Barbara here with me. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I am here, and you are so sounding choppy, and that's weird because I know your setup is really professional at the studio, and I just am hearing this crackled up voice out of you, Johnny. So
you mean right
is
now?
Weird. Yes, right now, and again just now. Yes, so that's too bad because it's just you and I talking tonight, and I'm not so sure if it's going to be clear. Did you send in the report to Blog Talk? Sorry, everybody. Sorry, listeners, but hey,
okay.
if I can't hear you, I don't know if I can do it.
Okay, then I'll try the host call-in number. Let me try that real quick, okay? Give me 1 second here.
Okay, I'll let the audience know what we're talking about. Well, Johnny had a request that we do a show on Midlife Crisis, and he titled it, How Do You Cope with a Midlife Crisis? Thinking we're going to have to ask Johnny if he believes he's going through one.
Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
Oh, Johnny, there's too much feedback. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Let's just go on and see if it gets better. Try to wiggle your wires.
Is allowed pressure.
No, horrible. Please put it on mute. Okay. And I'm thinking that we're going to ask Johnny if he thinks he's going through a midlife crisis. I would like to know.
Yeah, are you there?
Yes, let's just go on with the show. I don't want to do a whole test right now. I don't want to do testing right now. I want you to just go tighten up the wires, whatever is connected, or go to a different spot. And I just want to ask you some questions regarding the topic. And then hopefully it's smooth out.
That'd be great.
Let's start with my question. Do you think that you're going through a midlife crisis?
Yes, I am. Yes, I do.
You are? Is this something you've been diagnosed with?
Well, it's not really diagnosed, but the thing is, the reason I say it is whenever I've been working on this network or working on the show, I do it to keep myself going. And I realized that in the past, I would say month or so, I've been really down about my age. For the first time in my life, I'm actually down and depressed about my age. I usually am not depressed about my age. You know, I go through a birthday.
Do you mind sharing your age right now?
51.
51?
Yes.
Oh, that is not. Okay, well, I am not you. I am not walking in your shoes. You're feeling a little uncomfortable. Usually it's age 50, but 51 is hitting you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like that I am just old, getting old, and it's depressing. You know, I mean, I always thought that I'd be married by now, but I'm not. Everybody is just sort of going a lot faster than I am. You know, and it's very sad. I mean, it's not like chemical depression. I just think it's my life. Not necessarily that it's bad, but you understand the fact that I'm 51 is making me a little bit sad. Or
I really understand. I understand because you are not where you want to be, where you saw yourself, where you thought you should be at this time. So it is a crisis. You are going through a crisis, and a crisis is like maybe feeling a little bit out of control or lost or floundering now, or what am I worth? Worthwhile.
Right.
So I'm so glad that you are discussing this with me, your friends, and people who are listening who do love you, because we're there to support you and tell you you have accomplished so much, Johnny, and you are still going strong and you're enjoying it and you love learning and creating new things and you love people and you touch people's lives. And so you need to be reinforced like that and probably do need to see a therapist. Do you go to a counselor?
Well, I don't know. I understand what you're saying about the therapist, but the therapist cannot fix the fact that I'm 51. You understand? The therapist cannot. I mean, and I already take antidepressant medicine and medicine for anxiety already. So my therapist would more likely not say a whole lot. Does that make sense?
Well, okay, so you're telling me that you already know what the therapist is going to tell you.
Right. That's right.
Why? Do you have experience talking to them about this?
Well, I've talked to them about depression, but, you also have to realize there's lots of, you can also look at it from a standpoint, not to get off the subject, but you can also get a look at the standpoint that lots of people in lots of phases of life get depressed. Teenagers, they get very depressed, they get very sad. I mean, they want,
a separate issue. But
right.
We're not really talking about your emotion or condition. We're talking about this certain specific one right here. You are noticing signs of aging, and that bothers you.
Yes,
well,
it does.
Then you probably think, well, everybody gets older. You can't fight Father Time. It's just inevitable, but that's not making you feel better. I understand. So, well, there are little things you can do. You can change your hairstyle. You can do a different kind of exercise regimen this summer. And don't be so hard on yourself, Johnny. You can't just kick yourself down when you haven't even begun. Remember, we were talking about our summer plans on
right.
there. Yes. And then you said that you were going to start on a new dating app. And so that is the beginning of something. And you haven't even given your summer dating a chance.
That's true. That is true.
So just call me, too, if you are feeling down about the midlife crisis. Well, just think about this. How do all of these models like myself go through a midlife crisis?
Right.
When basically our looks were really everything that was making us a living, that was us. The world revolved around that to just keep our career going. So you're dealing with that, and you're used to having your photo taken, and maybe you're slowing down on all of that, or maybe it stops abruptly, or maybe you're in a modeling market where, oh no, they'll never even hire you again. So add all of that on top of noticing aging, and not just looks, but how do you feel? Are you getting out of bed really quickly anymore? Are you more stiff and fatigued? So you're feeling it too, right? So you feel the physical.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. It's
how can you not get down there?
Yeah.
It's normal. It's normal. That's why there's a name for it, midlife crisis. It's normal. It's going to pass. It's just a little shocking, and it is midlife. Okay, what do people consider midlife anyway? If you're only living to 80, a lot of people, 90, that would only be 45. So,
right. Or if you're somebody like Richard is 95 and he's still going strong.
Yeah, so I guess midlife should be around the 50s.
But also, I think another aspect of it, too, has to do with the fact that, you start thinking about your parents getting older. And I have, both of my parents, I think about them getting older, and I do rely on them a lot. But I try, as I've gotten older, to help them out more, too. You understand? But
I understand. On top of all that, you're also seen them get older, which is a little bit shocking too. Not if you're living, you see them every day, you live together. Okay, but you know what the other thing people do, which it's sad too, they numb. Like they can't handle another person dying or getting killed that they love, and they just stop feeling it, And I was thinking, in getting older, I feel like I can handle that kind of pain better. But then I was thinking, or am I just getting numb? And is it because of all my concussions? Because sometimes I'm thinking, I'm not the same.
But
I'm not
sure
somebody else. But you know what I mean? Only I would notice things.
Like
that I'm a little more numb. I mean, I don't cry as easily.
Like, my question for you, when you think about your parents, like when your mom passed away, I mean, did it happen? Did you react to it the way you thought it would, or did you? I
handled it better. I was more strong. I felt like, but I think it was God that just placed me there at the right time. It wasn't any horrible anguish where I had to find out over the phone where I couldn't say goodbye. It was happening. We all knew she was going to pass away from this disease. It was inevitable. So I think that's different. You have the time to prepare. But I'm telling you that if it happened 10 years prior in my life, I may have been a sobbing mess for days on end.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've evolved, gotten stronger, or I hope it's not numb, because I wouldn't want to be numb to feelings. Maybe it's because God just doesn't give you too much. Like he gives you what you can handle. A lot of people say that. There's been a lot of things I've had to handle. So it's interesting. I don't feel like I went through a midlife crisis, though. I was freaked out, though, because maybe I did. I'm going to have to take that one back. No, I did. A lot of things were going on. I was living in Arizona, and I felt trapped there, and I had to devise a plan to get back to California, and I had a child, and, I turned 50, and I was then my fiance and I just had broken up. I moved my life to Arizona for him, and we broke it off here. I have this huge house. I would open my eyes in the morning, and I would suffocate because it was, like, so big. I just felt, like, so overwhelmed with everything, the pool, the backyard, the garage, and no friends and knowing nobody except for like one neighbor lady, and that's nice. That's very nice. But really, that's not my home, And then I was turning 50 at the time, and then your body clock is changing as a woman too. So you have that on top of midlife crisis. And then I remember I did gain weight, so I was like in hiding, and then I called my ex-husband after not talking to him since the divorce eight years prior, and then we did a shotgun wedding in Las Vegas, and then that lasted 5 months, and then I got a phone call from my long-lost ex-fiance, Lorenzo Lamas, saying, "Oh, I've always loved you. The worst thing I ever did was break off our wedding." And then we got back together. I moved to Huntington Beach, and that was like, I realized, no, I made the right decision the first time, okay? We should not have gotten married. But anyway, he's still my friend. It all worked out. But I guess I did go through a midlife crisis, and then 3 years after that, which is now, I have not trusted myself to go out there in dating land because of those three crazy things that I went through in a row with men. Okay? So now, it takes time, Johnny, sometimes, time of your life. Embrace this time in your life. You're making big hurdles with your company and your work. You have a family who loves you. You're getting out there. You're excited about this summer and your new dating app. And it's going to be great, okay? But we all go through that kind of thing. I mean, be careful of what you wish for, you might get married to two wrong people.
That's true.
No, you might marry the wrong person 2 times. I meant, that's what I meant. Okay,
I mean, that is true.
No.
It's like, how old were you when you had your fall?
That was, still was living in Arizona. I was getting ready to move to Huntington Beach, packing it all up, and I went to take a trip to visit Kurt in Mexico, my best friend Kurt. And in the middle of the night, out of a dead sleep, I'm waking up, and I don't remember, was I going to the bathroom or going to the kitchen for water, but the kitchen was downstairs. All I know is I thought I was going down a hallway, and I was going down the staircase because it was pitch black. I had a cold that whole time. It was like I was struggling to even keep up that whole time because I was like had a sore throat and a cold. But the next morning, I was going to get up and go take my flight home. And that's when I fell down the stairs, somersault forward, hands first, and battered my whole entire body and had a severe concussion. And then went back to sleep.
Though?
Oh, my gosh, this was right before I moved here. I was 50. Okay? This happened during my midlife crisis.
When I say that is I'll never forget the first time you showed me the pictures of you, and it got me thinking that the first time I saw those pictures, because see, you're like, when you are photographed, you only do it if you can look the way you want it, and you're smiling, and everything is great. But when I saw you in the pictures, you were really, really almost like sad. You were really sad. I mean, not just the injuries. It was like you really, really looked sad. It was almost like, you didn't. And it was really depressing state to be in.
Oh, really? You remember that? Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, I had to cancel a couple of jobs that I was really looking forward to shooting, and then getting that money as well to go to my moving expenses.
Right.
So Kurt made me that. I never heard of this thing, GoFundMe page, and he made it for me. He felt so bad it happened at his home. And there's no railing in Mexico on homes, none that I have seen.
Why do they not have that?
I don't know. I don't know, and they just don't build it, because his new home that he built too, I said, they don't build any railings, and they kind of have them go curved around. It was cool, like you didn't need it in the new house, but no, it's pretty dangerous. Anyway, it was just a fluke accident, and the good things, came out of it. I realized I was not supposed to be with the person that my wedding was canceled with. I was not supposed to ever marry him. I found that out, and it took years to find that out, so now I have no regrets with that. And then I also got the radio show because you were asking me if I wanted a healing. And since I was laid up in bed, I actually read it because I thought it was like junk mail at first, but I thought, it says healing on it, so I'll open it. And then you asked me to be on the radio show.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you've always been very professional on the radio, and it's like, it makes me very sad when I think about the fall for you. So I was like, oh boy, that must have been really hard for her to go through that.
It just took the painful of the body you can get back. It took a while to do hard work. Hands, the tingling of the palms still hurt when I do the downward dog for yoga. And there's a few little things that are glitching with my body. But at least I didn't hurt my neck worse, because I've already counted my concussions. I think it was about over 20 in my lifetime. And people can't believe it. I've had so many concussions. You have no idea. Absolutely no idea.
What? 20 concussions? How can you have 20?
I'm going to write them down again. I wrote them somewhere, and the list was so long. And we are going to go over. We're going to do a topic about concussions, because I find that very interesting.
Well,
on a day. Let's do that soon.
That's
I'm writing them down again.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Yeah. I'm going to write them all down. And I was even shocked. Oh, my gosh, because I'm like, that one and that one, and yes, that one and that one and that one and that one and that accident and that one. Oh, my gosh, Johnny, it was crazy. And then people I asked around, they're like, I've never had a concussion. I'm like, really? Wow. Anyway, that's a factor that affects me. And I'm not really sure about my feelings sometimes on things. It's weird.
Yes.
I can't even explain it. It's just a weird thing. Other people might know. I'm going to read up on concussions and see how other people describe their different feeling they have in their head.
Right. I mean, you've known people also that have had concussions, am I right?
I do, and sometimes people get things like football players. I have a friend who now is suffering from the condition where you shake, it's uncontrollable, and now he can't drive. You know, where you shake, and especially at night, your leg just keeps bouncing really hard. Oh, what is that called? Sorry, everybody.
Spasm.
Well, he has, and it's just a slow deterioration of your functions, and he can't hardly talk. It's sad, you know. It's sad to watch because they're a very big man with their brain inside is totally the same.
Mm-hmm.
They can't get up.
Now, is that Parkinson's?
He used to have a big truck. This was 3 years ago when I moved here. 4 years ago when I moved here, he had a big truck, and he helped me move in here. Now he can't even drive. How do you think he feels? Talk about midlife crises.
But was it Parkinson's?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Is there another one very similar to that?
MS is kind of like that.
I think it's Parkinson's. So he lives out here. He was going to be the best man at that wedding that many years ago, and so very good friend for many years. So I will check on him from time to time. And we watched the Super Bowl together a couple of years ago because the Rams, or was it last year? The Rams were in it, and that's who he played for. It was the Rams football team, LA, you know. So anyway, it's sad. So that I'm thinking could have been from all those concussions in football.
Wow.
Let's research it a little bit. So we have some stuff to bring to the table, and if some callers would like to talk about concussions, let's do that next. After, of course, after Friday's show with Psychic Dale Shear, which everybody call in for your free psychic reading.
It'll be
what?
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and do the shout out or?
No, I still want to hear about. I don't think it's really fun like what we were talking about because you wanted to do the show. It's something that's bothering you. I don't know if I helped you with what I said.
Did. Well, you did. You did. I think it's good to talk about it because I figured I wasn't alone, you know, in having it. I figured other people had. That's why I'm not really into therapy because it's the idea with this therapy for this. Because I figured, well, you know, I'm not alone. I mean, I'll bet you other people that are 50 are going through this, you know. I mean,
well, yes.
Yeah,
they could comment on the bottom about the show, and if they have any pointers, that would be nice. But I'm wondering, I could look it up, how long a midlife crisis lasts. Like, who knows what from it? Maybe not just depressed. Maybe they get up. What do they call that when they go a little psycho? You know, want to even suicidal. And what was that?
Manic.
Oh, yeah, they get manic. Maybe, who knows? I wish that we had some callers call in about their midlife crises. But maybe we'll do another one and really have the people call in to. I want to hear the crazy. crazy stuff, and then only if you got better, though. Let's hear a good story. And how long did it last? When did it start for you? If you're 51, did it start when you were 50?
Oh, I think it started a couple of months ago. It was just like, I realized that I was I was being productive with how I was handling it, like I was doing the network because of a midlife crisis. I really do think that that's what was because it's a productive way of kind of, dealing with it by helping others. Does that make sense?
Of course. Well, it sounds like you probably had a lot of therapy in your life, and you, like you said, you know what they're going to tell you. So, hey, excuse me, I'm on air. Okay. Excuse me, listeners. So I just hope that you would call me next time if you're feeling down about it, and I could definitely lift your spirits. But it's normal, and you're right. A lot of people do go through midlife crisis. And here I was about to say I didn't even have one. And then you look back and you think, oh, yeah, wow, that was a lot of stuff that happened during that time. Wasn't it, Johnny?
Yes, it was. It was.
Oh. And then moving too is a stressful thing in life. And remember, didn't you guys sell a special home that you had? Did you guys have to sell your home in Georgia that you love?
Not yet. We still haven't done that.
And this has been traumatic because this is where you feel like your real home was, and now you're in Florida. So there's a lot of things you're going through as well.
It's great, yes.
So I hope everybody could let us know in the comments below on Blog Talk Radio. Follow us there, and also we will put this link on our Facebook group page, Life, Laughter, Happiness Radio Show. That's the full title, Johnny. Okay, don't ask why. A lot of things are taken, but that is the full Facebook page. And from there, you can find our private group. If you don't want anybody to hear about your problems or comments, there's always that. I post a lot in both of those now. And there's Twitter and Instagram. If you don't use Facebook, we put our show link there. All right, which will be up there.
Right.
And that's about it. And it was great talking to you about it. And I'm so glad we did this show, Johnny. And thanks for reaching out and getting help when you needed it in such a interesting way, right here on air, live with Life, Laughter, Happiness.
Right, well.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, Johnny.